What's up guys, it's Denko from Dencode, and in this tutorial we're going to be building a really cool app navigation. So take whatever you need to survive in the next 15 minutes and let's get down to it. Start with the basic HTML elements that we need for the head, body tags. Type in HTML5, HTML:5, add the meta viewport tag, title, and a link to our CSS. Inside the body tag we need a div with a class of wrapper, and inside of our wrapper div we need another div with a class of menu_background, which will contain our logo and menu items. Our logo is wrapped around an anchor tag and is being shown with an image tag. We'll keep the menu items inside the nav tag. Next thing we need is the content wrapper. So make a div with a class of app_container, and inside put our logo again, title, and a slogan. We're gonna wrap up the title and slogan inside the h1 and h4 HTML elements, and we're gonna put the correct class to those elements. So h1 with a class of title and h4 with a class of slogan. For the CSS, begin with a font family. We're going to be using Montserrat for this tutorial. You can find it on Google Fonts. Simply inject it before your CSS file in the head tag and follow the rest of the instructions on their website. So now we're going to reset our HTML website with box sizing, margin, and padding. And we're going to set the font family to Montserrat on our body. We're gonna make sure that this looks like a mobile application, so I'm just gonna pick a device here that I think is the correct size. So I picked Samsung Galaxy S5 size, which is 360 pixels wide and 640 pixels tall. Let's make the HTML and body tags to take 100% height so we can use flex to center our wrapper. To send our menu background element back one level, we need to position it absolutely. And to bring our content forward, we also need to position it absolutely. So app underscore content, position absolute, height 100% and width of 100%. Remember, this will be as sized as its parent, which is the wrapper. So it's going to be 360 pixels wide and 640 pixels tall. Now if we inspect it, we can see both elements are being rendered, one on top of the other, because they're both positioned absolute. Here we're just making sure that each element takes an entire line in the DOM, and we make sure that the app content has background color of white, so the background doesn't show up. At the very bottom we're using padding top of 45% so we can push the elements from the top for a bit. Resize the logo and push the element below it for around 30 pixels. Play around with the padding on our app content again to see what works best. So 45% from the top, 16 pixels from the sides and 0% from the bottom is what I went with. Now let's add the menu trigger button that will make sure we can open and close the navigation. So we're just saying width of 40 pixels and height of 40 pixels. We're just gonna set some margin of 6 pixels to separate it from the background. If we position it absolute and bring it out with z index of 1, we can have it always on the top. We're just getting rid of the border and the background. Remember, we have a span, so we can use that for our hamburger icon bars. With the span element, we're making sure we have one bar, but if we use the pseudo classes before and after, we can create the rest of the bars. So if we position them absolute and have width of 100% and height of 100%, which is 4 pixels from the span parent, we also need a background color. We need to position them to the left side, and we need to move the before element up for around 10 pixels so we can see it better. 7 or 10. I found that 10 works best. We also need to push the bottom one, which is the after element, for around 10 pixels. We also gotta make sure that we don't get the ugly outline we have on the button, so we say on focus outline 0. Now we're gonna style the menu, so we're just gonna apply a class of shifted to our app content and scale it down to 70% and translate it on the x-axis for around 280 pixels. Now we're just using background color to see the difference between the two elements. We're applying some padding to separate it from the edge of the app and some margin to separate themselves. Here it's just a matter of styling. I'm going to be using 24 pixels to make it a little bit bigger. And finally, we need to move the logo that we created into the app content so we can target the logo only in the app content element. To style the logo in our menu background, we need to style it as a child from menu background. And again, we're playing around with the width of the image and the padding from the top so we can see what works best. "80 pixels from the top, 16 pixels from the sides, and 0 pixels from the bottom is what works best." Now we need to inject jQuery into our HTML. So we're going to be using the 2x snippet, just because I haven't played around with the 3x and I don't know what's new there, so it's better to be sure about this. Below it, inject our main.js and delete the shifted class from our app_content element. In our main.js, when the document is ready, so on document ready function, we're gonna create a couple of variables for our menu button, the content, and our menu. So we're gonna say on menu button click, add a class to our content. The class we're toggling will be the shifted class that we styled before. And below it, we have on shifted, so when the element is shifted, and when you click on it, we need to remove the class of shifted. But this doesn't work because when this function runs, the document ready function, the shifted element still doesn't exist. So we need to target our content in order to remove the class. As you can see, console log doesn't do anything because the function doesn't know what shifted is when it initially runs. So it doesn't know what to listen on. So if we change it to content, we can see that now we can remove it easily. Now it's time to apply some transitions to our app content. So if we say transition transform 0.3 seconds and the timing function is going to be ease, we can see that it looks kind of pretty. If we play with the timing function and insert numbers, we can make a jumpy animation like so. Now we need to get rid of the dark background we've set to the background body. And after playing a bit with different colors, I found that EEE works best. That's it for this tutorial, dear friends. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below or on Twitter @Tankcode. As always, this project will be available on GitHub if you want to take a better look at it. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful and you want to see more, click the like and subscribe buttons down below. And until next time, keep thinking.